Welcome to the Atlas Studio and Holistic Health and Contemplative Education Center. My name is Elisabeth, and I will be teaching you a yoga for Parkinson's. Today, we're going to do a seated series, so chair yoga. So find yourself a chair and let that chair be something that ideally without the arms. But if the only one that you have has arms, then that's okay, as long as it's steady. Please don't choose something with wheels. You need it to be not moving. Okay? So make your way to that chair. You're going to be sitting about halfway up the chair as we start. And as we're doing our practice today, feel free to reach for water anytime you like. Listen to your body. Do what feels good for you. If reaching high is not comfortable, then reach where you can. It's all about you. All right. So we're about halfway up on our chair. Feet are flat on the ground. If you can, if it's possible, make sure you might want a yoga mat underneath your chair. At least two legs of your chair should be on it if you're choosing to use one. But make sure that chair is not going to go anywhere. Start. Feet are flat on the ground. Hands are on your thighs. We're going to be in Tadasana, so a seated mountain pose. Come here anytime you like throughout this practice. And we're just going to breathe. So inhale, take a deep breath. And exhale, letting it go. Filling your lungs full of air. We spend an awful lot of time in a shallow breath. Inhale and exhale. Steady here. And just relax. Feel calm. Letting it go. One more full breath in and out. As you're here, find that tall spine. Sitting tall in your chair and you've got enough gaps so that your back isn't touching. You can extend your arms wide. Make sure you've got that space. Open your fingers. Rotate your wrists. Finding that movement and begin making circles. You might keep moving your hands or you might keep them steady. Make the biggest circles that you are able to do. Move one direction. And then move the other direction. As big as you can, whatever that looks like for you today. Every day is new and exciting. Bring your hand back down to your thighs. Take an inhale, exhale. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Come back to center. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. And you may find that one side stretches a little bit more than the other. We are not the same on both sides. Coming back up to center. So it's okay to feel different. Take a breath in, and we're going to move our exhale. We're going to move our chin over our right shoulder. We're going to bring the eyes last. So inhale and rotate your head. Eyes are coming last, chin is first. As you come over to your one shoulder, bring everything with it. Take a breath and slowly come back to center. Eyes are the last thing you're bringing. Now move to the other side. Chin first. Take a couple of breaths and come back to center. Let that go. Begin to shrug your shoulders towards the back of the room and let them come towards the front of the room. And lower them down. Lift one knee, and you can take your fingers and interlace them behind that thigh, just giving a little more support. Your other foot is flat on the ground. Rotate as if you're stirring a pot. Moving one direction, widest circles you can. Moving the other direction. Coming back to center and find some movement in your ankle. And wiggle your toes. Don't get to do our ankles all that often. Let that one leg go. Lift the other one high as you can, and stir that pot. Finding that rotation, that movement, one way, and come the other way. Coming back to center, rotating your ankle, wiggling your toes, and lowering that leg down. Both feet are flat on the earth, and they're about hip distance apart, so it would be in line with the legs of your chair. Take an inhale, sweep your hands up, and bring them back down. Sweep up, and back down. Sweep high. Let them come down. Once more, and this time, keep them at the top. Palms come together. Find a little bend in your elbow. Draw them down through heart center. Push your hands at each other. Once they reach the bottom here, interweave your fingers. Inhale through the nose and push your palms away from your body. Lifting high. Bring your hands together at the top. Exhale through the mouth. Bring your hands down. Interweave your fingers. Palms face away from you, lifting up. When you reach the top, bring your hands together. Exhale. Let that go. One more time. Inhale. Through the nose as you reach the top, hold. Stay here. Full breath, full lungs. And exhale. Let that go all the way till you reach the bottom. Your feet are steady. Maybe bring them in a little bit closer here. We're going to bring your hands up. Palms face forward. Fold over your knees. Your fingers are reaching towards your toes, as close as you get. Coming up and bringing one leg with you. Holding on to that knee. Extending your toes, pointing, dropping them on the ground, taking your hands and running them down towards your toes. Maybe you're coming to your knees and it feels good here. Stay here. If that's what's best for you today. Lift up, bring that foot back in, drop your hands on your thighs or underneath your chair. Inhale, lift your heart, maybe look up or look straight ahead, opening your shoulders wide. Take a breath and let that go. One more time, lifting high, Folding forward, bringing the same knee up, drawing it in, pointing your toes, extending forward, reaching, lifting up, bringing that foot back, dropping your hands to where they're most comfortable. Inhale, and stretching your shoulders back, letting it go. Reach high. We're going to fold forward and switch legs this time. Folding, lifting up, opposite leg, pointing your toe, extending, reaching towards it, coming back up, drawing your legs in. Hands at your side, opening your heart, letting that go. Last one, sweep high, fold forward, lift up, bending in, pointing, reaching down, lifting up, pulling it back, bring your hands under, lifting up, and letting go. Be settled in your seat, take a breath. We're going to start marching. So lift your knees, alternating knees, coming up. Beginning to move one toe forward and come back. Alternating legs. Now, as your toe goes forward, alternate hand, bringing it back. Opposite arm, opposite leg. One more time, each side, and let it go. Bring your feet back to the ground, back to the earth, settle into your seat, and begin to walk your feet out a little bit wider. So your one foot is going to be parallel. If you had a yoga mat underneath you, the one would be parallel to the short edge of your mat, okay? About a 90 degree. The other one, the toes are going to be pointed off to what would be the top of a yoga mat. Your core is still going to be centered for the moment, okay? You've got a bend in both knees. Your feet are flat on the ground, so you're steady. Don't stretch too far and don't make yourself unsteady here. So we're going to inhale, extend your hands high. Exhale, draw your hands into heart center. Inhale and exhale over the knee that is bent, toes pointing far away from you. Taking a couple of breaths here. And slowly swing your hands in opposite directions, finding a warrior two, reaching your fingers in different directions here. Dropping your one hand where your toes are at a 90 degree angle and your other palm faces up. Coming right ahead of you, you're looking at your fingers. You might hold on to the chair, hold on to your thigh, whatever feels most comfortable. Begin to bring your one forearm with the palm that was facing up so that your forearm and thigh can connect. You might slide your hand up a little more on that chair if that feels better for you. Coming into a side angle. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here. And you could move your hand all the way up if you like, but you don't have to. Or you might drop your fingers so that they're pointing down to the earth. Coming into a modified Trikonasana, triangle pose. Coming back to seated, your core is centered, switch your feet. So the one is pointed forward and the other in the opposite direction. Your core is centered. Okay. Inhale, scoop your hands overhead, palms connect. Exhale, bringing them back to heart center. Inhale, one more breath, and rotate over the opposite knee. Exhale. Couple of breaths here. And release your hands. Send them in the opposite direction. Spread your fingers wide as you can. Finding a warrior two. Letting that go. Flipping your one palm so it faces up, your other hand so it comes down. Bring that hand in front of you. You can look at it, looking at your fingers. And lower your forearm onto your thigh. You might move your hand up that chair rail. Taking a couple of breaths here. And as you're ready, if it feels okay, lower that hand. Letting it come all the way down. Holding on here. Beginning to reach up. Bring all 10 toes to point forward. You're going to bring your hands onto your thighs, your knees. Inhale, take a breath, and fold over your knees. Maybe you look onto the ground, or maybe you look straight ahead. Whatever feels better for you here. Taking a couple of breaths. And begin to lift up. Bring your feet back together, heel toe them back in. And get yourself settled. So you're back to feet being about hip distance apart for the moment. And just take a breath. Full breath in. Letting it go. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Walking your feet in a little bit more. And extending, pointing your right toes, extending that toe. And reaching towards the one side, the toes that are pointed. Maybe you get to your toes, maybe your ankle, your knees, whatever stretch feels right for you here. Inhale, exhale. Coming back up, bringing the one foot back in, pointing your other toe, moving it away from you, and reaching forward as far as feels okay for you. And one side may feel better than the other. You might be a little more flexible. Rising back up and bring both toes out. Lowering your hands, reaching, taking a moment, taking a breath, and slowly coming back up. Bring your hands back. And dropping your feet to the ground. So we're going to move into pigeon pose here. And there's a couple of options. You can choose whichever one is good for you, and both sides might be a little different. So you're going to lift your one knee, and if you can, cross your ankle over top of your other knee, okay? Holding this out. If this is not accessible for you, or not for this side, maybe you cross your ankles. With the one foot is flat on the ground, the other one is lifted over top. If that is still not feeling good for you today, leave the one foot flat And bring your other foot onto the side. Any variation of your foot makes a difference. So choose whichever one is best for you. I'll start out here. And whatever variation you're doing, you're going to take an inhale and you're going to have a forward fold over your legs. Again, look down if you like, look forward if that's better for you. Just breathe. Take a couple of breaths, rising up. And if your legs are in this variation and you're able, maybe you're going to cross over. Anywhere else, stay as you are, no problem. Bringing one hand to the side, it might be on your thigh, it might be to the side and underneath your chair, whatever supports you best. The other hand comes to the same direction. Inhale, look forward, and rotate to the side where your foot is lifted. Steady breath. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your torso back to center. Let your arms go. Unravel your legs. We're going to switch sides now. So whatever side you did, do the other one. And maybe it's the same. Maybe you need to switch it up. Once your legs are in place, inhale and fold forward over top of your legs. Noticing your breath. Inhale and exhale. And begin to rise up. If you've got your legs crossed all the way and you are feeling good, cross them all the way over. Otherwise, stay as you are. Moving your hands to the one side. Whatever foot is lifted, that's where your hands are going. Inhale, center. Exhale, looking over to the side. And just look straight ahead. Taking a couple of breaths, let go of your hands, unravel your legs, dropping them back down to the ground. And you might want to let go of your legs and just rock them back and forth like they're windshield wipers. Steady here. Bringing your knees back in place. So you're going to take your hand and hold your shoulder if you can. And if it's all right, bringing your one hand underneath and push up just a little bit. If this does not feel good for you, you can always leave your hands and stay in this mountain pose. And just breathe. Just reaching, taking a stretch. And if you're able, reach from the top and pull up or hold from the bottom. Just taking a moment and switching sides, pushing up, taking a breath, and reaching from the top, pulling back a little. Letting it go, letting your hands go, taking them out. Make sure you're seated halfway. You're going to move your one hand, fingers are going to point up. Thumb comes to center, index, middle, ring, small. Second time, thumb, index, middle, ring, and small, letting that hand go. Other hand rises up, thumb, index, middle, ring, and small. Thumb, index, middle, ring, and small. Letting that go. Bringing up the first hand, fingers are pointing up. Have a bend in your elbow. Don't lock your elbow. And bring your other hand up and just pull back gently on your fingers. Bend in both elbows. Release that, let it go. Fingers point down and pull back. Switching sides, pulling up and letting that go. Taking it out. Rotating your wrists if that feels good. Wiggling your fingers. And slowly starting to slide back on that chair. Going to make our way into Shavasana. So your spine is touching the back, your hips are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, hands are on your thighs. Maybe they're touching your thighs, or maybe they're palms up and thumb touching index, forefinger, coming into a mudra. Settle, relax, breathe. Take a deep inhale and a full exhale. Perhaps you close your eyes if that's okay. If not, find a spot that you can just stare at for a dull gaze. Coming into Shavasana. Let your mind be calm, feeling relaxed. Just taking time and noticing. Noticing your body moving down from your shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, your thumbs, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, small fingers, hips, thighs, knees, shins, big toes, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and small toe. Notice your torso, your ribs, clavicle, your neck, forehead, back of the head, and your crown. And just breathe. Just notice your body. No judgment. Just taking this time to breathe, to have this time for yourself, to not worry about anything, taking care, settling, and feeling relaxed. Just breathe. No worries. No thoughts. In Shavasana. Slowly come back. Start to find movement in your fingers. Open your eyes if you close them. If you're ready to come back, take a breath. Inhale, sweep your hands overhead. Bring your palms together. Draw them to heart center. Full inhale. Exhale. Namaste. I hope you had a great practice. Thank you for letting me be your guide. Have a wonderful rest of your week.